Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man, and as always, thank you guys for coming to my channel. And today I'm going to do another short, brief video in response to comments I got regarding my very, I guess, highly viewed two videos I did on the Jackson 5. And let me start off again by saying those videos were not intended to bash the Jackson 5 or to be negative, because they're not. They're just fact. And the majority of the people that have commented, regarding these, I guess, challenging me as far as the Jacksons did play on these records, and they did play live all the time. 99.9% of these people are not musicians and not affiliated with the music industry by no means. So they bought into the imagery as opposed to knowing the facts behind the scenes, like myself, because I've been a part of the music industry for over 30 years. So I know what goes on behind the scenes. So it's just not me sprouting off an opinion. It's fact. Because one of my recent comments I got from a viewer was, it's interesting because I mentioned that, Michael Jackson was a great entertainer, a phenomenal dancer, singer, not a great writer, not a great songwriter, by no means. I mean, he wasn't awful, but he wasn't great, because I got a comment from a viewer saying, it's funny that you mentioned, because I mentioned as an example, Smooth Criminal, how the melody goes with the music. And that's so elementary because the music is totally different from the melody. They're two different things going on, but in that song, same thing going on top and the bottom. And those usually signs of people that just start to write songs, because one of my very first songs I wrote when I was a teenager called Things Are Changing, I did the same thing, music with the melody. So musicians know what I'm talking about. Just the average music listener, they don't know what I'm talking about. But you musicians, you know what I'm talking about. So I used Smooth Criminal as an example, and he said, I found that was kind of interesting that you used Smooth Criminal as a example as opposed to Billie Jean, because Billie Jean was a big hit. Now, I'm not saying because you are a weak writer that everything that you do is going to be terrible or weak. And it's interesting that he picked that song because it was a success. But what a lot of people don't realize that are not musicians, Quincy Jones produced that song. He produced that entire album. And Quincy Jones is one of the most prolific producers of all time. So when you bring something to him, he's going to jazz it up big time. Because what a lot of people, again, that are not musicians and not affiliated with the music industry don't know is it's all in the production. Because you can bring something that's just okay, and when you bring it to a producer, he start adding these layers and these other things to make it sound great. And that's, in most cases, what happened to a lot of songs. I mean, again, Billie Jean was produced by Quincy Jones. So Quincy Jones went in the studio and did his magic. Because, Prince, actually throughout his entire career, he's done everything from start to finish, playing most of the instruments, did all the production. But if you were to send Michael Jackson, and this is not a knock against Michael Jackson, into the studio and say, produce everything, write it and produce it, it wouldn't sound as good as the stuff that he has done with Quincy Jones. So I just thought I would convey that because, again, the majority of the comments I'm getting from people that are not musicians and don't realize what goes on behind the scenes. And I've been playing since I was a teenager, been a part of the industry since I was, in my 20s, early 20s. And I've seen how things work behind the scenes. So I just thought that I would do this video as an educational learning experience as far as there's more going on than what you hear and see. And before you get to the point of hearing and seeing that stuff was taking place to get it to that point where it sounds really good. Because, again, those videos are not to knock Michael Jackson or the Jackson 5. It's just to, convey fact. And that's all it is. It's fact. The Jacksons did not play a note on those songs on the recordings back in the 70s. The Funk Brothers and a host of other world-class musicians and world-class songwriters contributed, the music aspect of their project, and they did the vocals, and they did a great job. So, again, from time to time, I'll do these kind of videos because they're not to bash, they're to educate. It's to let the average music listener know what's actually going on behind the scenes. And it's more than what meets the eye. So, again, I'm signing off now. From time to time I do these videos because I think it's important for people to know the truth as opposed to what they've been marketed to believe. And the music industry is extremely big on marketing, imagery and concepts, an image, of artists. But, that's all it is. In most cases, it's just an image. It's not the person. It's not the actual person as far as what you see. But that's part of the business, and they do what they do. So until next time, take care. Thanks for watching.